Welcome back to USFL Talk Show, brought to you by Driving to the Top Productions. I'm Evan from Talking Sports by the Lake. I got some very special guests. We had some technical difficulties last week, so we're going to jump back in, talk about this past current week. We got some very special guests. I'm going to bring on my very first co host, good friend of mine. You might know him from the XFL and some other ventures that we've done here at Driving to the Top Productions. That's my boy, Jamie Malloy. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm great, Evan. And guess what? You're a poet and you didn't know it. That was a great intro way of bringing me in. Some rhyming schemes there.
I appreciate it, man. I've been, trying to get my J. Cole on every once in a while. But before we get started, man, how was your weekend?
My weekend was fantastic. I went to a women's college D3 lacrosse game at my alma mater, St. John Fisher. Watched them play Russell Sage College, and they won big. They won 23-2. It was a blowout from start to finish. And I know you said you haven't been to a lacrosse game yet and you want to go to your local JUCO college, and I think you should go. It's a popular sport, and it's only getting popular among young high school to college kids.
I'm actually going supposed to be once I get back in town. I think Notre Dame Junior College has a game coming up, and I'm definitely gonna go check them out. But with all that being said, I got to bring on my next guest. He's a Squealers fan, and I got to show him some love anyway. He's my producer. He's a good friend of mine. We talk every day. I'm gonna bring on Adam, also known as Sports Talking It. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing?
Good, good. How
All
was your
right,
weekend?
I was just getting the links out there. I kind of like being late brought into the show instead of opening the segment. It's kind of nice. But we got the links out there. Hopefully, we get some comments and shit. Anyway, Evan, you asked how the weekend was. I worked all weekend. I tried to catch glimpses of what's going on. I did a lot of watching on YouTube on the last couple of days. But I wrote down some stats. You know how it is.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
not
part of the
always
life, man. We got to
it's
enjoy
not
the
always
grind.
the easiest life working and paying bills, or as we
Absolutely.
call it now, adulting.
Right. right. But we get to bring in a very special guest, somebody that we hope to have many more times. You might have seen him on our channel before and other work. We get to bring in a USFL standout, former Steeler, University of Maryland left tackle, D. Gray. How you doing, man?
Man, what's up? What's up, y'all, man? I'm excited, man, to hop on with y'all, man, and talk some USFL ball, NFL ball, all types of stuff, man. So, I know it's been an exciting weekend for us this past weekend. So, yo.
So glad to definitely have you on. So I'm gonna let you guys carry. I'm gonna just be a host as usual. Um, so before we get started, is there anything that anybody wants to bring up, a special shout out, anything like that? Guess not. So we're
Everyone
gonna go
hopefully
to the
watching.
very
Special shout out to them, I guess.
hey,
Um,
look, the views go up on Twitter, and that's all that matters because that's where they engage at the most. Um, so
I'm looking
D,
forward to the draft. I know, Evan, you're not really looking forward till about what, Saturday?
yeah, yeah. It is what it is. We're not gonna get into that. We're gonna say those shots for another day. But I'm gonna get before we get into the games, I wanted to ask D this question. This is year 2 for you, correct, as far as the USFL goes?
Oh no, this is my first time in the
Oh, okay.
USFL.
My bad. That's on me. But so you can give the fans a little bit of an insight to what your daily life is as a USFL player. What is it like? What's the difference? Well, we know the major differences, but what are some of the differences that people may not think about?
Um, that's kind of hard because I mean, this USFL leagues runs like pro ball. Same thing's pro ball. You're making money, still fans, still TV production, everything like that. Only thing about it is just not the NFL. So the difference is probably I would say I wouldn't say there's like less talent, but I would say that probably the speed of the game is a little slower for me. It is, but it's still good players in this league. There's a lot of great talent. A lot of guys come from the NFL in this league, so it's not a lot of big differences in the USFL versus the NFL because a lot of those guys in this league come from the NFL, such as myself. So it's just no difference. I would just say probably just the speed of it.
Okay, absolutely.
Catch up, D?
Huh?
Do you think that speed will ever catch up to the NFL?
I think it will. I think if this league continue to grow like it's doing from year one to year two, because I keep hearing about so many changes and upgrades that has have done since last year to this year. So I mean, I think this league gonna be definitely a league gonna be around for a while. I heard this league was around back in the '80s, I think. So I mean, this league has already been known. So I mean, it's just about getting more notoriety and getting more coverage around the league and things like that. So man, it's not a bad league. I had bad thoughts about it before I came, and then me coming here and actually seeing the talent here is like, wow. A lot of these guys I played against week one against the Generals, DJ Daniel, man, him playing together in at Jacksonville. So it's talent all around the board, man, all over the place. Man, we got Bo Scarborough's my running back. I mean, who doesn't know who Bo Scarborough is? Like, so it's like it's crazy, bro. It's a lot of good talent.
So you already have your little clique, or do you guys all hang out together?
I mean, it's ball, man. Everybody hang around each other. I mean, you got guys that hang around each other more than others, but I mean, me and Bo, we be around each other a lot. I mean, O line, we tight. So the whole line, we do dinners every Thursday. So that's kind of the thing that I kind of brought to the room is that we do this every Thursday. We try to forget together and whatever it can be, man. We always get a bite to eat, man, every Thursday, just to continue to build that bond. So just the way it is for us up front.
So
So
is
that's
McDuck
great
buying you
insight.
guys dinner or what?
Say
Is
it
it like
again.
the NFL quarterback buys dinner?
I don't know about that. What quarterback by dinner? What team was that with? I mean, not the Steelers. O line, who bought the room for who bought the food for the O line was whoever the rookie that year.
I thought that was a thing.
Oh well, I don't know.
Apparently,
It
I'm
might be,
wrong.
but not where we was. Not the teams I played for, and the Titans. I mean, every guy took turns and buying a dinner that week at Taylor Lewan's house. Pittsburgh, we had our dinners at Pouncey's crib, and man, every week, whoever the rookie was, my rookie year, I had to buy dinner every Thursday, every week, and it was Capital Grill every week. So y'all tally how much I spent that year.
So did you guys?
So
How did you guys pick dinner for that? Like, because you said you ate at Pouncey's house. Like, did you guys put in a cup and pull out tabs, or did you guys have a set place?
what fast who? It was a tradition. It was at Pound's house. When I
No,
got
no, I meant
drafted
like,
there.
where did you order from, or did you do, or what,
Oh, it was
or did
Capital
they have a
Grill.
cook?
Capital Grill. Capital Grill. Capital Grill is where we order
Never
from,
eaten
and we
Capital
did.
Grill.
Capital Grill is pretty good. It's almost like Roof Chris, and just like Roof Chris. Same thing as Roof Chris, and
All right, good
every
steakhouse
week,
then.
yeah. So every day they put an order in, and then he might be generous, so they might switch up between Capital Grill and Mission Barbecue, and we get that catered there too as well, and we just switch it up every week, and whatever it costs, I had to pay for it every week. So it was bad. It was bad. So I couldn't wait the year two come, so I ain't had to be a rookie no more. So the next rookie we brought in, he could pay for that. Man, I was like, man, I can't keep doing this.
I'm sure you guys weren't eating. I'm sure that wasn't a cheap meal.
Oh no, that's why I said you can do the math probably on that. That was, man, that was probably a good tax write off.
So, Jamie, do you want to do your questions now or after we go over the scheduled games?
I could do them now, I guess. So D, first of all, do you mind if I ask you these questions? And do you mind if I do a profile story on you for my website I'm writing for Defiant Takes Football?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure you researched this, but in the first installment of the new USFL last year, the Birmingham Stallions won the championship 33-30 over the Philadelphia Stars. So what's it like joining a team that's coming off a championship in the first season last year, and how do you plan on preparing to help this team uh, win it this year? And you're already off to a 2-0 start in the regular season in season 2.
Well, like I told the guys when I first got here, man, I'm not here to change anything. I'm not here to big dog anything, man, because I came from the league for several years. I come here just to help where I need it. And one of the things they came into a phenomenal team that won. They played a high level last year and was good enough to win the championship every year. So only thing I can do is come here and add my leadership, man. I think my experience and leadership is more important than exactly what I can do on the field. Because if I say, for instance, I get hurt, my leadership can help the guys that play behind me, man, to be able to push the pile and getting those tight situations in the game to help them pull it out through experience, man. So, man, I'm just having to bring my experience to the table here versus, you know what I'm saying, being able to come in here and contribute more, you know what I'm saying, on the field. I'm happy to help these guys experience and get their minds together mentally to understand how to play the game and slow it down mentally for themselves. So, man, I mean, we all took 2-0 start, man. Am I shocked? No, because I mean we prepared, we worked our tail off in training camp. I mean, we worked for it, so we deserve this, man. And none of these teams we played against were bad teams.
Now you mentioned the 2-0 start. Your first win was against a New Jersey team that was coming off a 9-1 season, but were shockingly eliminated by the Philadelphia Stars, whom you beat in a very close game in the championship game. And then your second game was a rout to Brady White and the Memphis Grizzlies, and people were concerned going into that game that Memphis or Birmingham's going to slow down because they had injuries to Jaleel Wright and Bo Scarborough was hurt, and this team was going to slow down. But despite all the injuries, Alex Magoo played really well, and Jay Starmover played well, and it looks like the team played even stronger, and you beat them 42-2. So how does it feel being 2-0 start to the season despite the injuries? Because it looks like you guys are stronger than ever now with the injuries.
It's one of those things called iron sharpens iron, man. Every day we practice hard. We bring the force every day in practice, man. We had pads on today. We work with whoever we got, man. Everyone's talking about who we don't have, but no one's focused on who we do have. And who we do have is a great group of guys, man, that's dialed in, that know what they're doing. And if no one understands right now, like we do, we have depth, man. We can play with whoever we got on our team. If Jace go down, if Alex go down, it don't matter who we got out there, man. If I go down, we have a good backups, man. We got a good group of guys, man, from starters to backups that can go in and win games for us. So we're not really too worried about that, man. I saw a lot of Twitter little quotes about, oh, wow, man, Memphis showboats this, and oh, wow, they have 18 injuries after 1 week of games, laughing, and we go out and spank 42 points on it. And then we get some comment. I ain't gonna say who. Oh, we ain't played nobody. well, we had technically 18 injuries though, right? So technically we behind a ball, and we came out and played better. Like you said, we played even stronger without all our starters and key guys that helped win the championship, such as Jamar, such as Scooby Wright, such as Bo Scarborough being one of the leader guys, and not just for our team, but for the USFL itself. And we came out and dominated, and we will continue to do that every week.
I do miss Scooby Wright, who, I mean, everybody loves Shark Dog, right? I'm playing, he gets better,
Shark
right?
Dog.
Shark
Oh
Dog.
man, he in good spirits, man. I saw him today, man. He's doing good, man. He's rehabbing really well. So, man, I mean, whether we got him or not, man, Rashad, man, he stepped up to the plate and had a hell of a game last week with 12 tackles, man. I mean, dude, man, everybody's talking about him. I plan on bringing him to my Twitter Spaces next Monday at 5 p.m., man, and get him some love, man. And yeah, man, let him be able to share his
Twitter Spaces there. D, what's that all about?
The Twitter Spaces, man, every week, man, we do a little Twitter Space, talk about game recaps and stuff like that, man, and just get guys on there with me, man, to talk about some of the game reports, man, because in the day, it's not about me, it's about the team, man, and I think Rashad needs, like last week, they asked me questions about him. I'm like, man, we need to get him on here to talk about his performance, man, and with Scooby not being in the game, he came and played better than Scooby had for the whole year. So my thing is, our point, man, is that we have depth, man. We can play with whoever we got, you know what I mean, and that's what makes us dangerous from anybody else in this league.
I never even got an update on your Twitter Spaces, so pay attention to that.
Yeah, it's 5 p.m. every Monday.
Central time, Eastern time.
All right.
I think it's Eastern time.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's 4 o'clock my time.
Now, D, because you mentioned Jamar Smith going down, and everything.
Yeah.
And now you got Alex Magoo balling and going back to being Alex Magoo when he was starting, and then he got hurt last year. And I know you just signed Kyle Sloter, and he's inactivated, but once he gets activated, how do you think he'll do as a backup quarterback? Or do you think he'll
I,
ever get his name called?
Well, we'll backtrack a little bit. We'll talk about a little bit about Alex, man. Alex is me personally. I never knew nothing about Alex Jamon anybody before I got into this league. And Jamon knew was a starter, but Alex Magoo, man, has been playing his tail off. I mean, his laser focus right now is ridiculous, man. He's dialed in. He's more being a leader right now. He's getting everyone lined up from the centers to the O line to the rest of O line to the running back. I mean, my point is he's so locked into his craft, man. He knows what everyone's doing, so it's no shock that he's controlling the game the way he is, not with just his legs, but his understanding of defenses and understanding where the bubble was at in the defenses. So, man, Alex Magoo, I take my hat off to him, man. He's a fantastic quarterback. I hope after this year, man, he goes to the league and put that on the league somewhere and be a starter somewhere. But man, that's down the road. But Alex, man, he's gonna continue to win games for us, man. As long as he stay healthy, and we keep him upright, which we will. It's no doubt in my mind that he'll be the MVP of the season. And Kyle Slaughter, man, I haven't seen him work before, never seen him actually play before. Seen his Instagram a little bit, man. Never heard of the guy, but I mean, he looked like he's been around the league for a long time. I heard negative comments about him. I heard him that he throws a lot of interceptions. He got cut from 2 XFL team. He was trashed with the Breakers last year, but it doesn't matter, man. He with us now, man. So his mindset going to change, and he's going to get better, man. Because if he doesn't get better, he won't be here. And he looked like he's a competitor, so I believe fully in him that he'll get his name called at some point when it's needed.
Okay. Thank you for your time, D. I appreciate it.
For sure.
All right.
So
D, did you get a chance to watch any of the Houston and New Orleans game? Or are you guys warming up during this game? Or
did I watch it personally? No, but I watched it on a film and I watched them. New Orleans is a great team, man. New Orleans is coached well. They have a great D line. Do I think that was as good as they was last year? No, but I think they still have good parts on there, man. Roger Howard's the all USFL guy. I mean, I think he's a great player. I think their whole team is a great player. They definitely is a team not to sleep on. They beat who they beat the beginning of the year, Houston, and they 2-0. They beat both of their teams, man. So they definitely not no sleepers,
they
man.
played the Stars, didn't they? 38-31 or something.
No, they played Houston, and they played against. Forgot the second team they played against, but they
or
Panthers.
Michigan played the Houston lot for week 1. And
New Orleans actually played Houston, and that was 38-31.
Yeah, they played Houston the first week. The second week, they played the Maulers second week, I think, right?
Michigan? No, they played Philly. That was a Sunday primetime game.
Okay, yeah. So they played against two worthy opponents, man, and then they played great, man. We ain't really got too much to say too much about them, man. And we decided to play them this week, man, and see who come out on the South, man.
New Orleans played the Maulers. New Orleans played the Maulers in week 1.
Yeah, they played the Maulers. That's what I thought. They played the Maulers and they beat them. No, they didn't play the
Maulers. And the Maulers only scored because of a punt return by Henney.
No, the Maulers didn't play. The Maulers played against New Jersey. New Jersey played the Maulers.
We played New Jersey. Last week we played the Maulers. I mean Breakers.
Yeah, Breakers. Yeah. So yeah, man. But once again,
went
man,
5 for 5. They got a good kicker.
Yeah, but once again, man, I think New Orleans is a great team, man. They coached by a good coach, man. The head coach, man, come from a real good background in NFL. Browns, Steelers, Raiders, Vikings, man. He done it all, man. So we got much respect for that guy, man. We preparing as this is our Super Bowl.
Was on the Eagles staff when he won a Super Bowl ring with Doug Peterson and the Eagles.
Yeah, so he definitely had the background for it. So yeah, man. So we preparing like this our Super Bowl, man. Even though we 2-0, they 2-0. This is another day, man. We're gonna continue to do what we do because at the end of the day, we're not worrying about what they do. We're worrying about executing what we do on offense and defense, man. And what we do is good enough to beat anybody in this league. So it's just the way how we coming right now, and we just so focused on what we got to do, man, offensively up front to take care of that line of scrimmage. And man, Alex gonna put the ball where it need to be at, whether it's with his legs or him actually throwing a bomb and getting a touchdown with a safety's head.
So before we get
Bethel
into the
Thompson is their
games, D, I
quarterback.
wanted to ask the question as a defensive lineman, um, preparing for schemes and preparing for the player, is that a large change going week to week? Even though we know you watch tape, we know that you guys study, break down these things. Um, how in detail, how much detail and how much work goes into that weekly transition of you facing your opponent?
I mean, it's the same thing as the league, man. You watch film with the coaches there, and then it's about what you do in your own time, man. And me personally, I'm a big film watcher. That's kind of how my success been so far in this USFL. Just continue to break down my opponent, man. I break down every single thing about them, and I break down their tendencies. I break down every single thing about every player up front, man. And I don't know how much time I can just keep writing about how Reginald Howard getting his stands, where he from, where his birthday is. I mean, I break these dudes down so vividly, man, that everything I see come, man, I saw it already. You know what I mean? And that just comes with owning your shit. So that strictly is I try to get the whole line to think the same exact way. And those guys do the same thing, man. And it's no surprise that we were so dominant last game. When we heard week one we wasn't as good rushing the ball, and we guess what? We said, okay, even though we still won, we could pat ourselves on the back and say, well, we that was good enough. No, that would get your ass beat. So we came out week two and said we got to dominate the line of scrimmage and make people believe in our run game. They know we can throw it, we know we can protect, but could we run the ball? And we did exactly that. So this week, control the line. We're gonna
White
run the
and
damn
Marble
ball.
both had pretty good days.
Yep, that's all we want to do is run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. We can throw it. Magoo can throw that bitch. Everybody know that. But could we run the ball? No one really knows that till last week. So now we'll continue to run the ball and let Magoo throw the ball when it's needed.
So what's your favorite as far as run blocking and pass blocking?
I mean, me personally, I love pass blocking because it shows your athleticism a little bit. You know what I mean? You get to dance a little bit, you get to throw your hands, move, smack hands down, and stay in front of guys. So I think it's more of a dancing bear. But other than that, man, run blocking is where you get nasty at. I think pass blocking get nasty too because I'm a big puncher. I like to punch a lot. I'm inside a guard. I mean, when twisters come, you like to smash guys into other guys. Like, I mean, it get physical in there, man. You just gotta love it for real.
Yeah. So we're gonna go into the very first game, which is Houston versus New Orleans. Jamie, what was your thoughts on the game?
I think this was a wild game. This was a game where Houston really had a chance to bounce back after losing to Michigan, where it was a tight game. And the Michigan game last week they were playing, they were moving the ball, but they had a lot of turnovers, which allowed Michigan to pull away at the end. But let's get to this game, though. In the first drive, New Orleans, number 31, the running back, the Hills are alive here as West Hills had a 19-yard touchdown run to put New Orleans up 7-0 on Houston. But Houston would come back as field goal kicker Nick Vogel would kick a long field goal, and it was 7-3. Then on the next possession, New Orleans just saved Surratt, would score a touchdown to make it 10-3. Then Justin Hall would catch a long touchdown pass from former Lamar Jackson back up. Keji Bahar to make it a 10-10 game. Then Houston would take the lead on another pass from Bahar to Austin Raheed Williams, make it a 17-10 Houston lead. Then Surratt would catch a touchdown pass from McClay Bethel Thompson, 17-all. Then New Orleans would intercept the pass, and Johnny Dixon would catch a touchdown pass to go up 27-14. Then the game tied at 24. Bahar would throw a touch interception to make it 31-24. Then they would tie the game, and then with the game on the line, Bahar would throw an interception. New Orleans would score a touchdown to make it 38-31, and then Bahar would throw a costly interception, and then there would be no Lamar Jackson magic there as his protege would fail, and New Orleans would win another tight but close game, 38-31, to move on to 2-0, while Houston falls to 0-2. But it looks like they have something there with Keji Bahar being at quarterback there, and it looks like Houston could still find a way to salvage their season with their next game coming up.
Sports talking it. What was your thoughts or your notes for this game?
We had Hillis and Surratt over 100 yards each. I thought that was notable. Does that scare you for next week at all, or are you guys ready for that? D.
You asking me? They scared? Are we scared for the
And they
quarterback
both got
of
over
the Breakers?
100 yards. The running back had 100 yards, and then Surratt had
I
121.
Yeah, I respect the running back game, man. I think he's definitely a good competitor, man. Good guy, man. I saw him hit the holes a couple of times. He did a little showboat, man, when he slowed down and started jogging a little bit, then sped up and scored. I was like, ooh, he disrespectful. Ooh, he disrespectful. But I mean, man, it's good competition, man. Are we scared? No. I mean, you gotta love competition. You gotta love guys that go out and go compete and want to win, so because it makes you feel better when you actually knock them down. So I mean, we don't like guys that, I mean, playing against Memphis was fun until they quit, and it was like, wow, like, are y'all even trying? So we want some guys that go out there and actually play, man. And we think we're definitely gonna have that with New Orleans this week. And like I said, we're not scared. We're not worried about anything because I feel like we're a better team. I feel like we can work harder. So at the end of the day, we're just gonna rely on what we do, man, and execute what we do. Once again, not about them, about what we do. And once we do that, I guarantee we come out victorious coming out here next week when y'all talk about us.
Wait, before I move
You
on
think
to
you
the
guys would
next game,
hold on
before I
real
move on
quick,
to the
Jane?
next
Hold on.
game,
Hold on, real
what?
quick. Does the 5 of 6 touchdowns in the red zone do anything? Because that's New Orleans. New Orleans is pretty good in the red zone. I think they went 5 for 6, and then I think last week they were 3 for 4.
And what was our stats in the red zone for our defense?
Let's check it out.
Don't worry about it. We was 5 for 5. 5 for 5
You,
stops.
you guys were 4 for 4.
4 for 4
I
stops.
didn't
Yeah.
count field goal. I'm just counting touchdowns. I'm just
Yeah,
counting
and we count.
touchdowns.
You count
And they went 0
touchdowns.
for 1. And Memphis
Yeah,
went 0 for 1.
and we went
I
what
get
in
it.
the
I
red
was
zone.
just coming up with conversation.
No. I'm just helping you figure your notes out to see who you want to win this, and how would you see who win. So they went 5 for 5, and we went 4 for 4 in our defense. And where did our offense go in the red zone? I think we went 4 for 5 in our offense as well in the red zone.
Yeah, you guys. It said 4 for 4 on the stats.
No, for our offense going there.
Yeah, for offense.
Yeah, we went 4 for 4, but our defense had a 4 for 4 stops. Every time they got in the red zone, we stopped them. Every single time on 4th down, every time.
For some reason, it only says 0 for 1 on red zone.
Oh well, I don't know. Well, we I don't know then, but
I don't
we
either.
stopped
I'm
them
just
every
going off
time.
I was just going off the stats
Yeah.
what I was reading.
Oh yeah. But my point is, our defense red zone is ridiculous. Our defense is running around, flying to the ball. So are we worrying about them scoring? Even if they do score, man, like it's football. It's going to happen at times, but I'm confident our defense is going to hold it down because we've been battle tested for 2 games straight, and they've been holding it down. The defense been holding it down for the whole team. I mean, I know we putting up a lot of points, but our whole thing goes to our defense, man. They playing a hell of a game for us every week in and week out. So the touchdowns they putting up New Orleans, I mean, it sounds good. It looks good on paper, but I mean, when you meet the shock dogs and things get the barking a little different.
Well, let's make that box look different this week.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Before I get into the next game, D, I gotta warn you, my intellect is very, very strong here. So I wanted to see if you caught, I want to see if you were gonna kind of catch what you said. The running backs in New Orleans breaker, right? But you said he did a showboat.
Oh, because he played like Memphis Showboats, huh? Talking about the
He
Memphis
played the
Showboats.
Memphis Showboats last week.
Yeah, so yeah, he did a little swag on him. I think that was clean. I like it. The bust of the things.
That was a pun. I wanted you to let you know that was an intellectual pun. That if you were gonna get that, my brain works that way.
Well, yeah, he did a little showboat, so that means they might end up like the showboats. You never know. We gotta do our part. That's all. We gotta do our
But
part.
I
man.
digress. I'm ready to move on to the next game. So
And Jamie, I'm kind of upset that you beat me to the punch because my transition was that D here. Correct me if I'm wrong. You said you felt like Memphis quit on against you guys, right?
Man, I don't think they quit. That was just me messing around. But I think it may look like that to the fans that they quit. But they just struggled a little bit, man. And Coach Holtzman called a good game, man. And once again, Memphis got some great players, man. They got a lot of great players on their team, man. From the D line, was real strong, real good athletic guys. It's just that we just had a lot of the right answers, man. We just did our thing and did what we had to do, man. And we came out on top, man. So I'm not really a big trash talker. I don't talk trash. I really get credit when it's due to everybody, man. So.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, don't be afraid to get some bulletin board material here on Driving to the Top Productions. We will gladly help you distribute any trash talk that you need. But it sounds like one thing you did do well with the Steelers was media talk, because that was a great answer. So
yeah,
we go ahead.
No, I was just saying, man, I don't really trash talk to nobody, man. If anybody ever bring up stats to me, I just say make sure you check the opposite stats to see what we did opposite. Like, for instance, my dog, he said they was 5 for 5, but how many times we stopped the opposing team when they get into the red zone? We kind of undefeated in that spot too. So it's going to be undefeated versus undefeated. They were undefeated offense going against our undefeated defense, and I guess it's going to be a great tale of the tape that day.
Absolutely. So, Adam, I'll let you start this next game.
Memphis, they were not showboating. I mean, I don't know. I saw this game and I saw it to be a blowout. I just did. I don't think Memphis is fully ready yet. They're a brand new team still. I understand they're coming from Tampa, but they're still getting accustomed to the whole Memphis thing. And
I didn't see that. Me personally, I didn't see this as a blowout as a player. Reason why I didn't see him as a blowout, I wasn't here last year. Don't know nothing about the USFL last year, but I do know that who they played against the week before, playing against us, they played against a worthy opponent that was in the championship against the Stallions. Am I right or wrong?
You're correct.
100% correct. I know.
They were playing a quarterback who learned behind Jordan Ta'amu, who's 7-1 with the DC Defenders in the XFL, and he's probably going to win the XFL championship there.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is
it's the guy's first start, and he still put him in, even though they didn't convert a 4th and 6 to go win the game. He still put his team in the position to do that in his first start.
My point is, Jamie, I'm making here is that the Memphis Showboats are not as trash as you think, because they gave the run for money to the runner-ups of the championships last year. So when I look at this on film, I say, wow, this is a good team that played against worthy opponents like the Philadelphia Stars, and those are the ones that played against the Birmingham Stallions in the championship. So if those are the runner-ups, it's only 2 good teams in the league, Stallions and Stars. And this team gave the Stars a run to the money to the last seconds of the game. I'm coming to this game, I'm looking at those guys like, okay, that gave them all the momentum they need to say, we get down to Birmingham, it's on and popping. We won't finally get that win on somebody. And then I thought that's what it was going to be. Like, they're going to really give us everything they had, and they think they did, and it just didn't work. So that makes me think of the Philadelphia team now. How bad is they as a team? But once again, we respect all our opponents, man. Every opponent play everybody differently. They played them one way and played us totally different. But once again, these 2 teams in the championship last year, but one got blown out and one went to a close game. So it's just crazy how that worked out, man.
And guess what? And after that game, I said Memphis is a team that could still go 6-4 or 7-3. And even though they're 0-2 now, I still think they could still go that.
It's early in the season, man. It's only been 2 weeks, man. You can't count no one out right now. It's only been 2 weeks of football, man. And to say anyone is not worthy of winning or they trash is ridiculous to talk about as anybody, from a player and from a person that does podcasting all day. Like, I can never say a team is trash or gonna get blown out just yet, because it's too early in the season, man. I mean, once we get to week 6, week 5, when the playoff pictures start to shape up a little better, then you can start throwing your thoughts out there. But right now, it's like people still figuring themselves out, trying to get themselves together on the teams and figure out how they're gonna play together as a team and see what works and don't work. But I would say if you Memphis or 0-2 team, you got to figure it out quickly, because now you got 2 weeks in the book and you got a lot of film out there that doesn't look too good. So then I would say you got to figure out what you want to do moving forward, but you still ain't out of it.
And look at who they're
White went for 141 this week against you guys. Hold on. And then last week he went for 162.
And who was that you speaking about?
I think without Tamu, they've lost a lot in the quarterback stats. But Tamu ran the ball more than he did throw the ball last year.
Yeah, I don't know too much about him. I mean, I don't know too much. I didn't watch too much at USFL last year. I don't know too much about him, but I think I know familiar with the guy y'all talking about. Play for DC Defenders. Come from DC, so I see his face a lot all over my
Jordan
social media.
I sent it to you, D.
Yeah, I know you're talking about now, but I said I don't really know too much about him. I never watched him play, but I mean, it's probably seemed to be a good
He was a
solid
guy
player.
who was starting for Tampa last year, and Brady White was backing up before they moved to Memphis, and then Brady White became the starter because Jordan Ta'amu went to the XFL.
Gotcha.
And their head coach is Todd Haley, who's not a bum. I mean, he was in the NFL for 23 years. So to have a coach like that coaching Memphis, so
Todd Haley is a bum.
not
For
for
him.
not for that league though. In the XFL.
Maybe with
Absolutely,
you in
I agree with
Cleveland, he
that. But what he
was.
did in Cleveland, he a bum.
But I'm saying for that league though, he's a good head coach.
I mean, there was a
We
lot
did.
of definitely a lot of question marks in Pittsburgh. I mean, everyone knew the screenplay was coming.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only bad thing about Todd Haley. He didn't like to throw the ball deep, it felt like.
And he was a hot
Didn't like to take a shot. That's my
I agree
personal
with-
opinion, but I'm an outside guy just like all of us. D, you're the only one with any insight on any of that.
Haley wasn't there when I was with the Steelers,
right?
So I'm right with you.
So I mean, I'm just going off of what I witnessed on TV and watched on Sunday.
Yeah.
But I'm going like for that league, he's okay because the XFL, the USFL is different than the NFL. You can get away with somebody like that for this league.
Absolutely. So
why?
Absolutely. So, Adam, before I transition over to D and Jamie, were there any standouts in this game for you?
McGough threw 4 touchdowns.
Fair enough.
Did I say that right?
Magoo.
McGough? Magoo. Sorry. That was my standout.
Me too.
D, I'll let you go. D, I'll have you go second on this one. Did you have any thoughts about this game?
Oh, you asking me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, thoughts about the Memphis game?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of the same way I have every week about every guy. I always look at guys that have talented. I mean, when I look around their board, I think I wrote in my notes, I like 98. I don't know if he was a starter or not, but I know I like the 98, I like the size. I mean, me personally, I always look across the board and see things that I like about people. You know what I mean? Then I do my deep dive into why do I like him? Oh, because he does this. Man, he's kind of dangerous. So right now, I mean, it's something I do every week. New Orleans is coming up, do the same thing. Who do I like on their defense? Ooh, number 4 is a thumper. Number 20, he's pretty good at covering, even though he's a linebacker. But I know number 20 rarely blitz. And if he does, he's blitzing off the edge. And I don't want to say it, but I mean, that's just me. When I look at coverages and shit like all the time, like I'm just like a guru to come to this shit. Like, you know what I mean? And I just look at it and I'm like, man, those guys are really well coached over there, man. They play hard and it could be a good game.
Well, they had 3. Just to let you know, their secondary had 3 picks last week with Elder, Thomas, and Diggs, New Orleans. So,
yeah. And who they play against again?
Houston.
Oh, okay.
And
cool.
their quarterback went for 266 and 3 touchdowns.
New Orleans quarterback did?
No, Bahar.
A Houston quarterback?
Bahar, okay. Yeah, the Houston quarterback. But I'm just letting you know that New Orleans picked them off 3 times.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool.
They might have some ball hogs. You might want to look into that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they should, man. This is USFL. It's pro ball. Everybody should have good players that can catch passes that's thrown right to them in their face. I mean, if you can't catch those, shouldn't be out here, brother. I mean, the last pick they threw it
in the chat.
I mean, they throwing right in their people's faces, man. So, I mean, yeah, 20 is a good guy. I mean, I think he's a good player. I mean, I really like him. I respect his game. 4, I respect the whole team game. But we shall see this weekend. I guess we should have a great show next week.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
We'll have a great show there.
So, Jamie, what were your thoughts?
And you said, before you said that, Magoo threw for how many touchdowns?
4.
How many interceptions again?
Magoo threw none.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. All right. Well, anyway,
But I'm just saying that they picked off the Houston quarterback 3 times. New Orleans defense did. Elder,
and
Diggs, and Thomas.
how many picks did the Houston quarterback through week 1?
I'm just saying, like, you can't be
Did he throw any picks to week 1?
That's what I'm looking up.
you
Give me
can't be
2 seconds.
playing them like their arm.
He threw 2 picks in week 1.
Oh, okay, so we have a pattern with this already.
I'll say it too, guys, but it's
how many picks did Magoo throw week 1? Looks like none. Once again, man, I just like to look at the numbers, man. Look at the trends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, and how many threw last week? None. Sounds good.
None.
So,
0.
Houston,
Right.
Houston,
Yeah, absolutely.
Houston threw 3.
Now
So
Magoo looks like he got some legs. Looks like he went for 6 for 51 and a touchdown last week.
Yeah. Yep. And then this week he went for what? 400 something passing and 4 touchdowns, no picks for 2 weeks straight, and Houston threw 3 picks in 2 weeks. So
he should be player of the week this week, if you ask me. He should be player of the week.
Magoo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I don't see why he should be player of the week every week, even when he come down to Pittsburgh. Should be easy. We've seen him again.
That's my
man, I love it. If you can't tell, I love podcasting, bro. Like y'all need to hire me on at this point. Keep it nice and spicy.
Oh yeah, we could definitely talk about that one. But Jamie, what was your thoughts on this game before we go to the next one?
Yeah, Houston's a type of team that's 0-2.
Or on Memphis and Birmingham, sir.
Yeah, but Houston's a sneaky 0-2 team. I think they're another team that could turn it around too. And if you see my chat message there, that quarterback that threw 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions like that, you got to be wary of him because he's a Lamar Jackson type of quarterback. Because when he got signed by the Ravens, he actually was a former backup to Lamar Jackson. If you watch him play, he plays a very similar style to him too. Because he scrambles on the RPO, like he throws off his shoulder and everything like that. And like I said, they're pro ballers and everything. And if like you're in the USFL, but if you were a former backup to Lamar Jackson, like you're not a bum either. Like you still have to still be a pretty good quarterback to be a backup to Lamar Jackson too.
I agree.
To start for Houston, so.
I agree.
We ready?
Yeah, so I guess the next game is Maulers versus New Jersey, correct?
Yes, sir. Maulers got beat on.
It was close most of the game, though. It was like 3-3, 6-3.
It was. They let go those 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and that's what made it look bad.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not
now,
them
D,
jerseys?
do you watch football all day on Sunday too, even though you were off?
No, I be chilling, man, doing recovery stuff and looking at podcasting and figure out what I'm about to talk about this week and see if I can get me some like love and hip hop guys or some TV reality stars on my podcast. Keep it spicy. Well, when I'm outside of football, man, outside of football, I really rarely ever talk about football. Everything I do is literally like
the guy that
reality
played for
TV.
the Panthers last year.
They probably
who?
Oh, what was his name? I even had him on my podcast. I forget his name.
Well, he do podcasting too.
What's that?
You say he do podcasting?
No, he's hold on.
Is you talking about the big D lineman
from the Panthers?
Because I think I might have heard about it. Got to do like TV stuff now and something like that, like Hollywood or something like that. But most of my stuff, man, on my day off is more so podcast. Who?
Chase. He's on the reality show, Perfect Match.
Oh no,
he played for the Panthers last year. Chase.
Yeah. What's his last name?
He was the one that did a squat one day at the gym and ended up with like 1 million followers the next morning.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know him, but I mean, I love to have him on my podcast, especially if you're doing reality TV shows and stuff like that. I mean, I'm just being into stuff like that, man, on my off days, man.
I'll see if I can get in touch with him, D. I'll see if I can get him in touch with.
Yeah, that'd be
Get in
cool,
touch with him.
man. Yeah, man, that'd be kind of cool, man. Trying to get like BMF guys and stuff like that, man. I
He-
love that type of world.
He goes, I'll do a podcast with you guys, but I'm at the game, so you might get some live reaction. He was in the stands and he was Chase Demore.
Okay. Oh, that's him.
You see how Adam changed the subject when it came to talk about Demolish, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
this guy. Yeah, I saw this guy before. Yeah, he's the little.
He played with
small
the
little
Panthers last year.
He's like the little
Josh
small little
Love, are
defensive
you
man,
talking
I think,
about?
right? Little small, skinny little D lineman they had. Yeah, I think I saw him, man. He had that funny video, like trying box. Yeah, I saw him. But I love to have him though. Like guys like that will make my podcast go funny. Like my podcast be fun, man. Talking about all types of stuff, man. So
He
yeah,
did
yeah,
not
check
like
it out.
talking about Seattle. I can tell you that much.
The Seahawks or the Sea
The
Dragons?
Seahawks, like right whenever it was like we talked to him right whenever Wilson got traded, and he was like he turned into like a little salty.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just
Yeah.
lost their quarterback, so I understood.
But Gino did well for him, so
Mm-hmm.
still got into the playoffs as a 7th seed.
I think it's hilarious. The first playoff team with a 5th overall pick.
Yeah. So since we off a little subject, I actually got a question for D. Playing in the AFC, with now Aaron Rodgers being traded, you have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow.
Mm.
You have
Tua,
and you got Russ. I think he's gonna have a good year this year. I don't know why.
What about Justin Herbert?
Man,
And
A-Rod is always gonna be the GOAT, man. He the GOAT, man. He's the one. I love his calmness, man. He never get too worried about any situation, man. When he throw a pick, man, it's just same. It's like it's okay. It's okay. Same thing how Brady, all the top guys playing with Ben. He throw a pick. Ben might give you damn or something like that. Ben might give you one of those. But other than that, man, everything is pretty much, man, like they know how to change the game, man. So like all great quarterbacks, man. So I mean A-Rod gonna be good regardless. I wish I could have played with A-Rod.
I can't wait to see him with Breece Hall and Alan Lazard and Mike Miko, Nicole Hardman.
What's your question you about to say?
Sauce Gardner.
So with all of these quarterbacks all in one conference, how do you think that's going to play out as far as the playoffs go?
It's just gonna make it a tougher playoff picture, man. We got all those competitive quarterbacks, and man, of course, Russ. I know Russ is definitely trying to get on his rebound, man, based off his last year, man, and all those tweets, people talking bad about how he played all year. So I mean, I think, man, it's just gonna make the playoff picture real tough, man. I know A-Rod got a lot on his plate right now. It's kind of how Russ went to the Denver Broncos and had to try to change the culture around there. And that's the same thing with A-Rod, man. He gonna have to go change the culture in New York, man, because man, you think about New York, man, it's a team that they just get beat on, you know what I mean? And A-Rod got to figure out a way to go play defense and offense by his leadership, you know what I'm saying? Physically playing quarterback.
The Giants taking more of a hit than the Jets, though.
I mean, me personally, I think both of them trash. You know what I mean? We coming from like teams like the Steelers when we won a lot, both of them was trash, not contenders and over here, you know what I mean? But once again, now they contenders now. You know what I mean? They got A-Rod. They always gonna be contenders on paper right now. So now they got to put it all together, man, and become a winning team. And I think A-Rod gonna do that. I think A-Rod gonna have a successful year. So
with that being said,
I'm excited to see Breece Hall.
So with that being said, do you think that they make it far in the playoffs year one? And if not, how do you think that this will handle out with the media and as far as him coming back to play another year? I know I'm asking the question that's like real far down the road, but we've already seen this with Matt Stafford and Russ.
It's hard, man. It's hard because it's just that you just don't know what could happen with the Jets, man, team, man. I don't know how this gonna play out for A-Rod. I'm super confident, but weren't we all super confident in Russ? Because all we hear about how hard he works, what he does his off-season regimen. People that I play with, the Tennessee Titans, say Russell Wilson was this, Russell Wilson was that. He was a man amongst boys. He was so serious about his craft to the point he sometimes didn't talk to people. Man, I heard so many stories about Russ. But once he got to Denver, I mean, what happened? I don't think
Didn't
he's a
have a
bad player.
team around
Well, how do
him.
you
That's
think they
why.
also got a
I
coach
think
now?
I don't think it's a bad team. I don't think nothing. I think it's just trying to get those pieces to gel together, man.
Exactly.
Well,
And I
now
think,
they got a
and
pretty
that's the,
solid coach now too,
yeah.
Sean
Sean
Payton.
Payton.
I mean, they can have a good, solid coach, but it's about how do the players get it together? Because it's the players' league. It's not a coach's league. Coaches only call the plays. The players got to execute the plays. You know what I'm saying? So what I said is it starts from the players first, and
Facts.
then for them to believe into the coaches. Everyone's talking about Matt Canada. That's why
But
I
the
feel like the
coaches
Pittsburgh
get
system.
fired every year,
That's,
though.
for
That's
example, I don't want to
yeah.
get back to the Steelers, but that's why I feel like the Steelers not going to be right because I feel like it's not a lot of buy-in to Matt Canada's system. You know what I mean? When Ben was there, Ben called his plays, even though Canada was there. Canada was collecting a check. He was back there like, go ahead, Ben, do your thing. And Ben just, I mean, he might give him advice on certain things, but what are you telling Ben to call? Ben called what he want to call because he's been there, done this for years before he was even coaching. So with that being said, is that man, they got to take control as the players first, and then let the plays do its thing. The plays gonna be the plays, but if you want to make it work, it'll work. Let's be real. I mean, it's gonna work. I mean, every team only got about 6 main calls they call, 6 runs, 6 passes. All the rest of should be nuances. All that should just be game planning shit you do. You know what I mean? And most of the shit you gonna run inside zone every game. Every team gonna run inside zone. It's about how well you run inside zone, how well the block, how well you block, how well the receivers block on the perimeter, all that. So all that goes into being a good team. Coaches just draw X's and O's, brother. That's all they do. I mean, you have bad calls, you have good calls. But guess what? Who can make a bad call good? The players.
The
You know
players.
what I mean? That's it. So always remember, it's a players' league. Coaches just coach. They just draw X and O's. Players run the show. So, but I think Russ gonna have a great year this year. I think he's gonna turn it around, man. Last year was a filler year for him to figure out what he got, what he working with, and same thing for Aaron Rodgers. I think he might go through a little growing pains early on. So,
Do you think they're going to get him a line?
if I'm the Jets, you damn right I'm going to get a franchise quarterback like him a line. What you expect him to do? You think he about to run like Lamar Jackson back there? You got to be out of your mind. So you got to be out of your mind. Yeah. So if he can't run like Lamar Jackson, you better go get him a line because if not, he won't be out there long. So I mean, we all know Aaron Rodgers is tough. He could take some hits over the years, but my God, but how many more hits you think he got left in him before he like, I'm out of here? He'd be walking away with his tank top saying mid-game, like Vontae Davis did.
I was talking to a couple Jets fans, and what do you think this is going to be good for Zach Wilson?
I think it's gonna be amazing for him, dog. Because we don't know how many more years A-Rod got left in him. But my thing is, this will be good for him, beneficial for him as a young guy, continue to develop and continue to grow, and to be under, actually not just watching a guy on TV, but actually being under him and actually seeing how he prepares, how he wakes up in the morning, how he approaches everything. You know what I'm saying? See his mindset, game week, everything is gonna help a guy out, man. And when it comes to him taking that leadership role again and him being the starting quarterback again. Because right now he's going to take that seat right now. So unless they trade him and get rid of him, and I highly doubt they do that because Zach Wilson's a good quarterback. I wouldn't get rid of him. I would just let him ride that pine for maybe a year.
He's going to be the best quarterback in that draft, to be honest. I like Zach Wilson. That was just me.
Yeah, I don't think he gives. I'm Jets. I don't get rid of him.
And Zach Wilson to me just gets a bad rap. Like Jets fans are so like fickle. Everybody thinks like. Okay, he threw a 53.1 completion percentage last year, but you got to look at the style he plays. He's another guy that is like a Mahomes or an Allen where he makes a lot of those high risk, high reward plays. And a lot of those plays are like 50-50 balls. And he hasn't really learned how to complete those passes yet. That's why he's a 53.1 completion percentage, because he's a high risk, high reward player. He doesn't make those drop back completions that are easy, like 70% completions, but they don't take a lot of risk. He's another daredevil high risk thrower. People don't understand that because they don't understand the game, how the quarterback is developing now. That's why.
Hey, Evan, Donovan, you was about to say something, right, Donovan?
So yeah, that I'm actually glad that the two of y'all had brought that up, because that was something that I was gonna bring up to to all three of you, with this whole Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers thing. If you think back when Zach Wilson was coming out in the draft, Aaron Rodgers usually will come out every couple years or so and say, "Hey, that's a rookie that I like, or a draft prospect that I like. I like what I see in him." And it turned out that him and Zach Wilson kind of built a relationship off of that talk that came through the media. So now that he has a guy that he has mentioned that he's looked up to, does he want to stay and ask the franchise to say, "Hey, you brought in a once in a lifetime style quarterback. I want to sit behind him and learn, and possibly earn my job back when it's time for him to retire." How is that something that you guys could see him doing, or do you really feel like he's going to ask for a trade because of the way it played out with his teammates in the media?
Me personally, I would say if you want to be great, I would sit down for a year. I will sit down for a year just because of the simple fact that this is a one in a lifetime type of deals when you actually get to play underneath the great and not have to watch him on TV. You get to see him play under pressure. You get to see him when things ain't going right, to see how he react in the locker room, which we don't get to see. You get to see all his flaws and all the shit that messes with his head that we don't get to see. And you get to see how he overcomes that. Because guess what? We all seen Zach go through a lot of shit in the media. All his play went up and down. He never had a steady rising meter. It kept going up, down. Oh, we see flashes. He's about to be great. And the next week he beat shit. You know what I mean? We never seen a steady pace from him. So guess what? We have A-Rod there. Now the missing piece maybe can be A-Rod to help him actually figure out how to keep that train rolling. You know what I mean? And now be that guy that the Jets or any franchise may need. Man, me personally, I think he should sit for a year, but that's me. But if he think he's ready to go move on and be somewhere else and think he'll be more productive, hey, it's your career, brother. Do what's best for you. Because, I mean, hey, I ain't going to never knock you, get your paper. But at the same time, hey, you get
I
to
would
ride
have quit
behind.
work for that kind of money.
Yeah, I mean, come on, bro. You active. You getting active checks. You still getting paid. Take that seat, man. Sit that seat and put that headset on and learn from the great. Because once
And
it's
he's
all
still
over,
on a rookie deal too.
because when it's all said and done, it's all over. Guess what? You get to say that, hang your coattail and say, man, I sat behind a guy that taught me the best. And I sat there and he taught me right on the field while we in action. Come on, bro. You don't get too many of those. I see people like Joshua Dobbs, Mason Rudolph, all those type of guys talk about how they cherish being behind Ben because you don't get that type of leadership just watching him on TV. You know what I mean? If I'm whoever, I don't know, Taylor Heineke or where, I don't get that type of learning from watching him in real life. You can learn, you just watch him on TV and say, oh, that was a good pass by Ben. I wish I can do that. That's all you can do. It's just say, wow,
Right.
you don't know why he threw that. You don't know how he did it. All you just see him, Ben is making good plays. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, man, he should cherish that moment, man, and not look as, oh, they shitting on me. Oh, man, this is a bad thing, man. I supposed to be the franchise guy, and then I'm not. Man, you got to put that to the side, put the pride to the side, and put all that bad stuff that's going to come to your phone. Like, man, you supposed to be the starter, man. Forget man, you got to single that out and understand, man, the big goal to be great in this league and play for a long time, man. And that's the goal, man, just to be the best at this position. And who is no better person to learn from than the best that's doing it.
And the
That's why
last question, because
when I played behind Ramon Foster and Dave DeCastro, come on, man, them dudes, man, told me so much, man, about game, about playing inside that guard position and waiting and the toughness to play with and how to play. Come on, man. Every day, everything I've done up to this point, all the years I played in the league after that, is always reverted back to my roots of playing in the city, man. Like, you don't get that type of publicity with that O-line I had with Pounce out, filling the waiver, you know what I mean? Matt Filer, Chugs, Marcus Gilbert, all those guys, man. That was a ridiculous O-line, man. That was a Hall of Fame O-line. And I wouldn't trade that for nothing because that's where you learn your roots from, man. That was the best place to get drafted to. Because I got drafted to the Redskins, I probably couldn't say the same.
I agree with all this.
Yes.
So I absolutely do
it.
I absolutely do. And that's actually what my last question was going to be, was that do you feel like certain guys, whether they're a first-round pick or Mr. Irrelevant or undrafted, get thrown into certain positions that they wouldn't thrive in if they were able to sit behind a Brett Favre or an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady or any of these other elite players like David Castro, or sit behind a Aaron Donald and then go to Houston like Okoronkwo did, and now he got a payday coming to Cleveland. So is that something that you feel like players should take more advantage of and teams should be keep that in the back of their
Yeah.
mind when they're drafting these guys.
Hell yeah, I think when they got a franchise guy in front of them like that, you should take full advantage of that, man. And I know it's hard coming in, man, because when I was drafted in, it was hard for me to say, man, I want to sit behind Ramon old ass. I didn't want to sit behind Ramon Foster old ass. He was down there, couldn't get a 3-point stand. I'm like, I'm better than him. Why can't I go play? But it wasn't that. It was about teaching me and molding me to understand what I don't know was already built. And once I figured it out, man, it really started clicking for me, man. And it's like now I go to other teams like the Jaguars, and then I played 2 years with the Titans, and then just seeing how they run their culture there. And I would revert back and be like, man, it was nothing like Pittsburgh, bro. That brotherhood and that camaraderie there was nothing like Pittsburgh. Everything I've learned about the game of football right now and how to be a professional came from Pittsburgh. That was a special O-line group, a special coach from the leadership up top with Mike T, all that. So, and all I'm saying, I know we talking about Zach Wilson, but it starts right there with the players and you learning from those guys. The coach can teach you a lot, but the guys that can really teach Zach Wilson how to be great is a great quarterback that's doing it. Let's just be real. He's doing it right now. He's the coach on the field. He's showing you how to be great. Yes, you ain't gonna be able to spin the ball like he's spinning, but guess what? You can learn the way he sees things. You can learn how to film prep to see how you can spin the ball your way by seeing the same thing he sees. You know what I'm saying? And it's stuff like that, man, that you got to take full advantage of. Quarterback is a special position, bro. It's a special position, bro. You have to know every single damn thing that every person is doing on the line. You got to know where your hot's at. You got to know what's covered, what's not covered.
They say your position's the hardest one on the line.
Yeah, it's probably the
true?
hardest physically. I would say it's hardest physically, but mentally and physically, I mean, I would say it's definitely quarterback, bro. It's too much going in your mind. You got to figure out who the open guy is.
I meant on the line, like between right guard, left tackle, center. I was watching something. Obviously, Matt brought this to my attention, and every time he talks Ravens, my phone picks up on Ravens. And when they were looking at Brown, putting him at left tackle, they were like, "This guy's got to be the best because left tackle is one of the best positions."
Yeah.
Has to know about, has to know what's going on.
Man, I mean, it's very cliche because
best positions
it's very cliche because it say it's blind side. That's cool, but I feel like the whole O line is most important. I mean, the whole O line is important because if you ain't got a good center, they getting ran over every play. Guess what? That's the quickest way to get to the quarterback is through the center face because he's right in front of him. So my thing, if you ain't got a solid center, you can't even step up in the pocket. If you ain't got a solid interior, you can't step up in the pocket. And my thing is tackles are made to create the width of the pocket. They're not meant to make the depth of the pocket. They meant to just stretch the pocket, just stretch it. Tackle, the guards inside is the one that's supposed to keep that bowl right there so he can just sit there all day. But if that's not solid inside, you think that Orlando Brown or whoever's on that side can block that long? Hell no. Guess what's going to happen? He's going to end up rolling to the left or to the right because the inside is getting K. Guess what? Sack. So, I mean, inside, man, just as hard as the outside, man. Tackles, of course, because the edge is the island. But, man, it's hard, dog. But I think it's hard physically. But mentally, it's hard on a QB, man, because you got to know – QBs got to know where they hot at. When I say hot, meaning where they're not covered at, where they're not blocking at, where he don't have no blockers at. And I feel like young quarterbacks struggle with that because I played with Trevor Lawrence when we first came in. He struggled with knowing where his hots was. So guess what? Every play, a free guy coming. And we like, bro, that ain't our guy. Guess what? That's your guy. But he didn't know that. So guess what? In real live action, guess what? Sack, fumble, strip, touchdown, injury, hospital, broken neck because he doesn't know his hots. That's shit like experienced quarterbacks know. Ben Roethlisberger, he can look and see shit. Oh, hey, Pounce, Mike left, slide right, y'all. I got the rest. Say it go. You bring out the edge, check down. Ryan, what was his name? Ryan Switzer, touchdown, easy. Like, shit like that, quarterbacks got to understand and be able to feel. That's hard, bro. It's hard under pressure when you got 2 or 3 seconds.
I feel Trevor Lawrence is getting the game very well now.
Oh,
right.
100% now.
That was something I wanted to bring up because if you were there and which I'm assuming was his rookie year, correct?
Yep.
So that means you were under Urban Meyer. So now looking at it with him and Doug Peterson, he also didn't have a backup quarterback that was of ilk when we talk about a backup quarterback or a seasoned vet or somebody who he could sit down and watch film with and go through this process with. So with that being said, do you feel like if Lawrence had fell into a Patrick Mahomes situation where he sat behind Alex Smith for a year, or if he,
He'll be
even had
better, man.
Alex Smith as a backup, would it have really changed everything for him?
I think it would have just sped it up quickly. That's all. I think it would sped up quickly, but I think at the same time, Trevor Lawrence developed at a fast rate. I think from year one to year two, we all could say that Trevor Lawrence has taken the game by storm and really played at a high level and got it and got it going. But my thing is, you can't compare his situation to a lot of other people because maybe Zach Smith just don't. I mean, Zach Wilson doesn't develop that quick as Trevor Lawrence will. And you expect that out of it, but it could be scheme. It could be the coaches. Who knows what it could be? But my thing is that Trevor Lawrence took that step from year one to year two like that. Because they good players. Just like Zach Wilson's a great player. He wouldn't be here if he wasn't a great player. So the coach's job is to figure out how do you get your great player to play great. So things need to be taken out, things need to be put in, things need around him need to be put around him. Protection need to be better. If he need more time, go spend more money on protection. Shit, go broke, go bankrupt on protection. If you feel like he can't make a pass in 2 or 3 seconds, he needs 6 seconds. So go get Purse Johnson. Go get all the best tackles in the game right now. Go get all the best guards because your guy here that you spend all his money on needs it because he can't get the ball out in 3 seconds. So you got to figure out ways as an owner to put pieces around him to make him look good. And that's what I feel like that's what flight teams do. So.
No, you good. This is great insight because I could chop this up and bring it to Talking Sports by the Lake or to anybody's channel. But does anybody have any other questions?
I think D really hit it on the nail on signing Aaron Rodgers means that Wilson can learn from a great quarterback with all this experience. And yeah, Zach Wilson, if you're listening to this, take the opportunity to learn from a guy like Aaron Rodgers. You got the talent, man. Don't listen to the haters and take advantage of this because you know you could be a great quarterback and you've shown flashes of it. Take that next step, become the Jets franchise quarterback, and you and Josh Allen could have a friendly rivalry like him and Tua do. So,
right.
Fair enough. Zach Wilson, if you are watching or do watch this, just don't tell the New York media to relax. You ain't got that kind of pull. But I think something that you hit right on the head that you changed my perspective on it was the development rate of a quarterback and the process of what teams have to do to put around a quarterback. Because as being a Browns fan, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, okay, we draft a quarterback at the top. It should fix everything. And I look at other franchises that draft a quarterback and it's like, it works. Or they pick up a guy off the street. Or San Francisco gets Mr. Irrelevant just after drafting Trey Lance the year before. And you see the transition of what they put around these guys. So it brings out further detail to the things that really go on that as a casual fan or as a wannabe reporter or as a reporter that you just may not really see. So I appreciate that one.
Yeah, man. And that's it, man. Because at the end of the day, like once football is all said and done, man, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do this all day, man, doing draft analysis on guys. And I guess I just finished doing this about like guys in the draft. We just did a Steelers talk, man. We just did guys I liked in the draft. I think Steelers should get. And it's based on just knowing Pittsburgh's culture, man. And once again, doing like commentating stuff, man. I hate seeing commentators that just gives off. I won't say I don't hate it because it's their job, but I hate seeing sometimes the lack of education behind some of the thoughts they put out and be like, well, this guy was thinking this. Well, how so? Well, why was he thinking this? Well, I don't know. So how could you say that? You know what I mean? And that's why I don't really speak about things I don't know. But I know Paris Johnson, like I said, will be a great fit there. Or I say JPJ will be a great fit there because I know what Pittsburgh like. And JPJ, like, for example, like on the show, I'm not talking because that's what I think. I know Tomlin loves physicality. He loves corners that can tackle because corners they have a great name on themselves that corners don't like to tackle. They don't want to do no tackling. They just want to look pretty, fix they sock. But JPJ can come hit you in the mouth. That's the type of people he wants. He wants that. Because we were talking about Deontay Banks. I said, I love Deontay Banks. He's a Maryland boy. but I don't think he's a great fit for the Steelers. I think JPJ is exactly what it is. They need a linebacker at corner making hits in the open field, which a lot of corners don't want to do. JPJ gonna do that. So my thing is,
don't think they trade up?
not for JPJ. Me personally, I'm going to go
Yeah,
get.
there's a lot.
I'm going to go get Paris Johnson because what tackle in the draft moving like him? What guy?
None.
What tackle in the draft could jump up, spin around, and do some cornerback drills at tackle? What guy at the top of his set just dumping everybody in all conferences at the top of his set, showing great hands and great core strength, and he just dumping dudes at the top of the set. I mean, come on, man. Like it's like I'm going to go get him. JPJ, I love that pick, but my point is you could find one of those tackles that's like that. It's rare to find. It's rare. You might find a tackle that can run block, but he can't pass block. You can find a guy that could bend real well, but he's really weak and he's not really physical like that, but he just got good feet. You never find a complete package in strength, dominance, and mobility in the hips. That's a full complete package. Go get that. That's a franchise tackle. You're going to be sitting down years later like, damn, Paris Johnson dominated us. Man, I wish we'd have got him. Why you want to do that? Nah, spend that money on him and keep Kenny Pickett up right so he can keep rolling like he is and open them holes up for Najee.
Small.
So do you think they trade up? Do you think they trade up?
Me personally, if I'm in the office, I'm going to go get him. I'm spending every buck on him. I mean, JPJ, I once again, I told you, I love that dude. I want him a lot. But my thing is, you can find another one of him eventually. You can help that. You can find another guy and make him into that. But you can't find another guy.
I'd rather have one great than two goods.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could find another one of him. But you got Pat P already. You got that Pat P's already going to help that room get strengthened already because of his experience. But that old line is in the development stage. They lost so many people from the time that I was there to now. That whole line is different. Only person that's still there is, I think, Chooks Okafor, the right tackle. Dan Moore's new. James Daniels is new. All the guys they just got from the Eagles and all these dudes are new. So how do you build that culture again? You got to start building similar talent like what you had before. You got to start bringing that there. You got to start bringing that back around. And there's no other way to start off than going to get a guy like Paris Johnson, man, that's physical and is going to shut DNs down. JPJ, I love him, man. Once again, I want him. I wish you can get both of them at the same pick, but you can't. Me personally, I'm going to get O-line. It's the most important, man, because if not, man, Penny Pickett going to be running around the pocket, running. You don't want your quarterback running that much, man. He paid to throw the ball, not run like a running back. That's what you pay Najee for the big bucks for. So why would you make Kenny Pickett do his job? Nah, you let him do his own job and go get somebody to protect him so he can do his job. Like I was talking about with Zach Wilson. And that's a little bit how I talked about what we talked about on my Steelers talk. And there's people who disagree, and people say they should get corners, should go get a corner. Cool. Why would you do that? You just spend big money on Pat P. Pat P can go develop James Pierre into something like that through experience, just like he developed Tyrann Mathieu at LSU. So why would you think he's going to do the same thing for another young guy? But who going to develop the O-line on the O-line already there? You ain't really got no old heads up there. You got James Daniels. I mean, he's pretty good, but come on, man. You ain't got nobody that's really of something up there that can really change that whole line. So guess what? You got to go get that.
So with that being said, how do you feel about the receiver room for the Steelers with all the things that we've seen since the AB saga to the Claypool
top tier. George Pickens, top tier.
Absolutely. I wanted him in the draft, but outside of him, then you have a receiver this year that didn't get to catch a touchdown all year or to the end of the season, and then you got Claypool, who they call
Actually,
Maple.
it was just a 2-point conversion, but anyway.
I mean, Claypool was very disappointing.
It was just a 2-point conversion, Evan. It wasn't even a touchdown.
It was a very disappointing situation, man. I couldn't believe it. I mean, in my podcast all year, I talked about Claypool being my homeboy, but now I got to talk about it. I'm sorry I'm in this position, but Claypool just wasn't amounting to what I just hate the fact that every time deep balls came up, he's on the ground looking for a flag. That's bullshit. What they wanted George Pickens out of Claypool before George Pickens got there, and they couldn't get that. They wanted a deep threat, strong hands, and he was the worst one on the field. Deontay was making big boy catches at 5'9", it looked like. And it's like, bro, how is that even possible? You know what I mean? I love Claypool because my dog personally, but my thing is like, bro, I mean, at the point, it was time for you to go. You know what I mean? If you couldn't make no big plays. So, I mean, it is what it is. When I think George Pickens came and accepted that role, once they got Mitch out of there and started getting Kenny Pickett, getting that ball to him, and people started seeing the immaculate catches he was making, and it's going to keep rolling for that guy, man. He's a dog, bro. He's a gangster. we want to say, I mean, he's a thug on the field. He gonna go get it. And those are my type of guys I like to go to war with, man. I'm saying on the field. Those guys that's gonna give it all up for it. And he gonna sacrifice whatever for the team. So Najee and all those guys. So me personally, go get your O lineman, man. Go get your difference maker on the O line that's gonna create holes that's not even there. Go get that guy that's gonna push that power when the whistle just blow and barely tipping that flag line. Know what I'm saying? Go get you one of those guys. JPJ, I want him, but you can find one of those.
It's interesting to hear as a former Steeler or a Steelers fan come with that perspective, because that's what I've heard is to go get a Steelers for the Steelers to go get somebody on defense, go replace a linebacker, go get a corner. But for me, I never really feared the Steelers defense, and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful because y'all done had some great defenses. But for me, I've always feared your offense, whether it was Big Ben or Batch back there or Maddox back there. Like, your offensive line was always some dogs. Like you said, making a gap,
Max
making a play.
Starks.
And then you think about the
Yeah,
receiver core that they had.
but you think about when I played, but let's think about the past couple of years, like last year and before, they wasn't as dominant every game. They wasn't like they ain't had those pouncies. You know what I mean? They ain't had all the Castros getting open space and those draw plays just flipping dudes. We ain't had that. So my thing is, how do you get that? Do you just say, okay, well, we're going to keep molding them. They'll get it next year. Najee, it's cool. We can miss 3 or 4 blocks. Najee will knock everybody on the ground. But what about when Najee get hurt? Then your backup can't knock everybody down. Then they're getting TFL. Then everybody, oh, the O-line trash. I mean, but my thing is, you got to go rebuild now. Go get it. Go get it, man. Go get those missing pieces. And they started already in free agency going to get a couple guys, man. And they're going to get guys that's good in the run game, man, because all Najee needs is a few seconds, man. Najee's out the gate. So all you need is a good guy, man, that can just open the hole up for a second. Najee's going to cram it in there, and he's going to make a couple dudes flip, jump over their head and everything. So, yeah, man, I mean, it's an interesting talk, man, about Najee, man, and those guys, man. I think, like, once again, man, if y'all don't get anything from that talk about Pittsburgh want hard-nosed, physical guys. I mean, Tomlin loves speed, but he loves guys that's physical and make people quit. That's what he like. He like people that's going to own their shit. And whatever you tell him on the south side, he ain't taking no prison on the south side when we go over there and practice. You're gonna find out who want to play ball and who want to hit, because that's all they do. Open the drill up every day with 907 and they gonna hit, and that's just the way it goes, bro. And that's why Pittsburgh over the years always been tough in a lot of teams. They gonna hit more than people. That's why you see a lot of the fights be almost close to down a dog fight, because that's the way it is built over there in the south side and the Latrobe over there in training camp. Just the way it is, man. Just built a little different. So, yeah, man. So, but once again, they got to go get the players that want to do that. So,
we're gonna make Evan a Pittsburgh man.
Yep.
Excuse me, what'd you say?
We're gonna get Evan to be a Steelers fan by the end.
That shit ain't never happened.
Yeah,
that ain't never.
But man, I gotta wrap it up, man. I gotta get some treatment in on my legs, man. So yeah, I got that Browns right there. That's it.
It's always,
man,
baby.
But for sure, man. But man, Evan, Donovan, man, hit me up on the Twitter, man. Add me, bro. We can always hop on the talks, man, and expand this, man. So it's good, man. We had a good little hour and 18 minutes.
What's your Twitter, D?
Team Gray.
At Team Gray? Okay.
Yep, Team Gray with 2 eyes in the end. Somebody stole my regular glove. But yeah, man, hit me up on the Twitters, man. We can chop it up, dog. And I think, man, we got something good going, man.
All right.
Oh, for sure. Definitely gonna reach out.
How's it going,
sure, man?
But thank you for coming.
How's the COD going, D?
Thanks, D.
Yep.
How's the COD going?
How's the pod going?
The sticks. How they doing? No, the sticks.
Oh man, it's going
COD.
Oh, the COD.
Oh,
you say COD? Oh man. I'm about to give me some of that in right now, man. That's what I'm about to hop off. I'm about to get some of that in right now. Definitely, man. I'm about to get some of that in right now, man. I'm about to hop in, play with my homeboys, a couple things, and get some film in, man. So, but all right, man. I gotta get up off here, man. It's good talking to y'all boys, man. And hope y'all have a good night, dog.
I just followed you, by the way.
You know, we talk USF.
All right, my guys.
D, how do people? All right, cool.
I just followed them, by the way.
Let
them know.
That was very in depth.
Yes, it was. I think I'm gonna change the name when we get off of here. because I actually got to go take care of something. But I'm gonna change this to talking ball with D Gray, and I'm gonna cut off the first half and just let it be what it be.
Oh, you could do 2 different segments if you want.
Absolutely, and also, well, you know what? I'll tell you when
We
we
didn't
actually off
cover
live.
the we didn't cover the Michigan game, just to let you know.
Don't nobody care about Michigan. I'm only joking. I'm an Ohio State fan. Don't nobody care about y'all anyway.
No.
But let's wrap it. Let's kind of do it quick because I do gotta go. Do y'all have
right.
any thoughts on the last 2 games?
Yeah, I do. We could talk about Memphis and Birmingham. That was pretty much this was pretty much a blowout from the start. So in the first quarter, with the game tied at 0-0, Alex Magoo throws a touchdown pass to Davion Davis, 7-0 Birmingham. Then later in the first, Shaquadre Wright takes a long run for a touchdown, 14-0. Then in the second quarter, in the later in the first, Shaquadre Wright scores a touchdown in the T-bone formation. And what is that? It's 3 in the backfield with 2 tight ends. And then in the second quarter, Birmingham, Alex Magoo touchdown to Jay Sternberger, 21-0. The route is on. Then in the third quarter, Wright rushes for his second touchdown of the night, 28-0 Birmingham. Birmingham goes up by 28 points. The shutout is still on. Then Magoo does a play fake touchdown to tight end Thaddeus Moss, the son of Hall of Famer Randy Moss. His first catch, his first score as a pro, 35-0 Birmingham. Then Memphis. Oh no, what happens? Magoo gets sacked in the end zone for a safety by Jeremiah Apaioloa, and it's 35-2. 2 points. Memphis actually scored 2. And then lastly, Birmingham would get a late touchdown. Birmingham wins 42-2. They go to 2-0 on the year. Memphis falls to 0-2. And no, Memphis did not quit in the game. It's just Birmingham keeps rolling on. Roll Stallions. Giddy up.
Well, that was great, and I love the energy. Adam, do you have anything to add to that before I have you take care of the last game?
No, I thought we went over Birmingham with I thought we went over the Birmingham game with the.
Yeah, we kind of jumped off subject, so I'm glad that he covered it. So, do you want to take over the next game?
Fourth quarter, the Maulers just kind of ran into some bad luck and lost 20-3. I'm sure Jamie can go way more in depth than I did, but it seems to be that fourth quarter seems to be the Maulers' problems this year.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to discuss something with you, Adam, over the Maulers. Because our defense is really, really good. And I think our defense not.
Speaking of defense, we might have Trey Tarpley on next Tuesday with us.
That'll be interesting.
That's great. I'm excited about that. Our defense, I think.
I said we might. He texted me while the show was going on, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him.
I think our defense can compete with anybody, but I really don't know how long we can keep going with James Morgan and Troy Williams, because you don't know this, but I know this. When the USFL draft was going on, we did happen to take a quarterback, number 2 overall, by the name of
Long Smith.
Yeah, no, his name was Lindsey Scott. His name was
Lindsey Scott. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what Coach Horton's thinking. He's not really panicking yet because it's only been 2 games. So if this keeps up,
I think that panic button should be turned on, if you ask me.
It should be turned on. So are they waiting to eventually maybe play this kid because he is the second overall pick? And are they banking to maybe see if this kid's going to be the future quarterback because he is?
You got to remember, we let go of Josh Love last year.
No, I'm saying he is the second overall pick. And what if he comes in and all of a sudden wins like 3 or 4 games and then he gets an NFL contract because we did take him that high? Should we start thinking about playing him? We got nothing to lose.
Well, Trey Walker, Gather, and Gorshak, I think we're all scratches this week.
But what do you think of starting the number 2 overall XFL pick, who we don't know about, but we have nothing to lose at this point?
We got to find something that clicks.
I mean, but do you start him now after 3 games, or do you? I don't know if we wait until it's too late, or should we start him this week, or what do you do?
I would start him this week. We have nothing to lose.
Lindsey Scott, yeah, he was the number 2 overall pick by the Mullers in the USFL.
Right, but what I was saying, Jamie, we had Josh Love last year.
Yeah.
And I thought that we should have kept Josh Love. I called him Phillip Rivers 2.0, but that's just me.
Right, but
I thought we should have kept him.
Right, but at least Lindsey Scott, is a dual threat, dude. The one thing about Josh Love is, like, I'm worried about him getting hurt because he doesn't have any mobility. You need a dual threat now.
We had Vlad Lee too, who went to the XF or the CFL. We had Vlad Lee last year too.
Yeah, but he was a dual threat though. He could run, Vlad Lee.
And I think he just got cut by the CFL actually.
Yeah. So I have a feeling we could be.
The puppy dog.
I still have a feeling we could be seeing Lindsey Scott sooner than later if nothing changes.
The only reason she's here.
Morgan and Troy Williams.
Mine is taking a nap next to me right now. I'm just trying to make sure she doesn't snore.
Oh shit!
But I'm glad you're on the same page with me that we should be starting Lindsey Scott at some point.
Yeah, I think we should. I almost broke my TV with that throw. She kind of hit my arm a little bit.
But that's good. So
we need you for 2 weeks in a Steelers uniform, and you know what weeks I'm talking about.
So, but yeah, I mean, our defense is good. Just our offense is not in sync at all.
Right.
Well, the Panthers did beat the Stars 24-10.
I actually wasn't surprised by that, honestly.
I know. I watched the highlights. I watched Josh Love. He was just sitting back there like Tom Brady, freaking delivering darts.
I wasn't surprised by that because after you talked about your boy Love,
2 picks.
After you had talked about him, I wasn't too surprised by it because I went and checked him out. Kind of looked up his highlights and everything to check him out, and I was kind of impressed. And
Josh Love.
Yeah, and I don't know why I have this feeling, but I feel like the Stars are going to come on. I just don't think that it was going to be in the first 2 weeks. I felt like I saw some errors in their game in week 1. So
they had Brian Scott last year. It was really good. And then he got hurt with the ACL. So I don't know what Brian Scott's up to. I have to message him on Twitter. We talked for a little bit on Twitter last year.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Adam, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you at?
Hey, Hammer Time Pit, if you want some UFL stuff, at Hammer Time Pit, obviously. And then at Sports Talking It for everything else, I guess. Driving to the Top, you could get me there too on Twitter. I answer pretty much every channel we have almost.
Yeah, I will shout out to everybody or let everybody know that Adam here is a very busy man. He's the guy behind Driving to the Top Productions, and we're very grateful to have him over here for everything that he does and how he pulls us together. Jamie, can you tell everybody where they can find you at?
Absolutely, yes. You can find me on Twitter, Jamie Malloy at DJ Dogcat, and you can follow me there. I'm consistently growing my followers every single day. So go follow me there and help me continue to consistently grow my followers there. And if you could help me do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Phoenix will follow
and I also write, and I'm also a freelance sports writer for a football exclusive website called Defiant Takes Football. I write stories for college football, the NFL, and spring football too. So go support me over at that website too. Thank you.
I think this is turning into the dog show, apparently. But
Who let the dogs out?
oh, now your camera shy. But anyway, I'm at
mine too.
I'm at
Look, mine
Brogdon
too.
Evan on Twitter. You can find me on sports at Talking by the Lake. You can find me at Driving to the Top Productions. You can find me at EMB Studios on YouTube. Also, where I just drop content videos as far as just like behind the scenes on how to make intro videos and things like that. I always follow back, and I love to talk sports. I love to talk, period. So if you ever have a question, want to talk about something, get perspective on something, you can definitely reach out to me on one of my and also XFL Football 23, and we're getting
I
ready
was just
for the
gonna say
championship.
we breaking that down this week. What day?
Yeah. Did you want to do it tomorrow or Thursday?
Tomorrow.
If it's gonna be tomorrow, it's gonna have to be a late start because Matt asked me to come in the back room tomorrow.
That's fine.
I got to do it tomorrow because I'm watching the draft Thursday.
Well, you could be a live update of the draft and talk XFL.
No, I want to do it tomorrow, please.
All right.
We'll do it tomorrow, Jamie, because we're all gonna. Well, y'all are gonna be glued to the draft. I'm probably gonna be on some nice date or something, go to the movies or something. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you, D.
Evan
Gray.
don't draft till Saturday, Jam.
Yeah, but
I'm not worried about it.
Don't worry about it.
But again, thank you to D. Gray for joining us today. Hopefully, we'll have him on soon again.
Absolutely. Good guest, good host.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna try and get some other guys on. As you can tell, we have XFL tomorrow on Wednesday, the final week of the season before we get ready for championship weekend. And thank you for watching us. We're out. Peace.
See you guys.